Hello everybody and welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday and 'tis the start of our almost 100% run. And I'm going to start with the levels that have special gems in them, because we're going to need those special gems to get all the regular gems. So, challenge in this level, if you didn't see it when on the loading screen, break all the boxes without dying, which is certainly possible. Hold on. But maybe not easy. Okay. Okay. Don't die to this guy. Alright. Do. Bad timing. Don't like that timing. Do. Go. Okay, gotta restart the level. Alright, that's fine. I wonder. You know what, maybe this is a good time to test whether you actually have to fully exit out of the level or if beating it from the beginning or without checkpoints works. Yeah, you know, let's just play it safe. Because I was thinking it's like, oh, but I have the Taunt tokens right now, so... Also, I thought you could only do Taunt levels once, beating the level, judging by that other level. Unless Slippery Climb just didn't have Taunt tokens, but I could have swore it did. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. God, they give you 2 really early in this level. Okay. Don't die to this guy. Zoop. So I noticed, I've kind of been recording later and later, as far as, you know, time of day, and also, like, you know, days before I need the footage. That has also been later and later, but what I'm trying to talk about, you know, that I'm recording this at 1 a.m. and it used to be, I used to record at more like 1 p.m. And the reason this is interesting to me is that I actually feel I feel like I have a lot of energy right now. And granted, I woke up from a nap like an hour ago, so that has something to do with it. And yes, I took a nap at 11 o'clock at night. What? How did I even break that top one? That was lame. All right. But yeah, I feel like I have a lot of energy right now, and it's 1 a.m. Well, almost 1 a.m. About quarter till, actually. But yeah, point is, my sleep schedule is not exactly conventional at this point. And it has a lot to do with work. Because I used to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used to go into work at 8 a.m. and because I used to be the prep guy. But then, you know, they trained other people on prep. They moved me to nights because I can do most things in the store. And so when, god damn it, restart. So when that happened, you know, my schedule was relatively normal for a while, but I also just don't like being awake before work because I never really get anything done. And you know what? wait. I never really get anything done before work. And so the time that I spend awake before work, I just kind of feel unproductive. And I don't like feeling like that. And that wasn't an issue when I was getting up at 6:30 to be in by 8:30. But now, if I were to get up at noon, I'd still have like 2 or 3 hours till I needed to even start worrying about getting ready for work. And it's so point is I sleep in. I sleep in till about, 2 p.m. now. And I don't know, man. I like it. Like I honestly, I am quite a bit of a night owl, so just naturally. And I kind of like the peace and quiet of the night. And I'm actually, even though I'm bringing up, I'm actually very okay with my current sleep schedule, except that it's not what's expected of me. I always think that's kind of weird that, like, oh, you sleep at you go to bed at 6 a.m. That's weird. I feel like there's it's a common thing for people to say. I feel like there are people who legitimately look down on people who do that, but despite the fact that it's actually more convenient because they work at late at night like I do. But yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of like it, but also I feel like I'm being judged whenever the topic of when I went to bed gets brought up. And so there's always that little bit of guilt. That little bit of guilt about I'm going to bed at 6 a.m. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't, wait, going to bed at 6 a.m. feels fine by itself. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, I don't know. Just, I don't know, it's because I know there are plenty of super respectable people who do, go to bed in the morning and, wake up at night and do their things. And you know what? It's really not all that inconvenient right now, because it's not like I'm going anywhere but work anyway, because Corona. So it's fine. It's actually just fine. Yeah. No, I certainly try not to judge anyone who's like, oh yeah, I went to bed at, it's 7 a.m. It's like, all right, well, as long as you're not, missing any commitments, that's fine. I mean, I really don't have any commitments myself besides work, so certainly not sleeping in past work. So I think I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's the matter. I didn't like that jump. I didn't like how that jump felt. Damn it. All right. Oh. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that's how my nights have been going. Also, I meant to, on a somewhat related note, I meant to record this batch of Crash last night. I was like, I was all set up to do it. My computer was, you know, ready to go with the capture software. You know, I was really ready, and then I kind of got caught up in doing D&D stuff. So I've been doing that lately. And I just got really into making some homebrew stuff. I have a custom class that I've made for a campaign that I might be running, so I spent about 6 hours working on that last night. Like, I looked up at some point and was like, oh yeah, I should record. And then I looked up and it was 5 a.m. I was like, oh, well, I could record now, but also my mom's gonna get up soon to go to work. Actually, no, it wouldn't have been going to work, but mom's gonna get up soon, probably dad as well, so maybe I'll just, you know, do it the next day. And so here we are. That's where we are now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, I made a lot of progress on that custom class that I was working on. It's interesting, right? Because I've looked at maybe not a lot, but quite a bit of homebrew for 5th edition of D&D, and I haven't seen a lot of classes. I see a lot of like races and, you know, spells and items and stuff, but not a lot of classes. And I kind of get why, because class is maybe like the hardest thing to homebrew in D&D, because it's very like you have to do something for every level, and it's I don't even know how balanced my class is gonna be. Just to give you some info on the class and what it is, it's because you all have watched this series, right? But it's based on the powers that you get in Gravity Rush. You know, the powers to manipulate gravity. And I thought, man, would that make for a cool power set in D&D? But just sorting out all the like minutia of how exactly it should work is really weird. Like I've got a resource, right, for this class that I'm calling I don't love the name, but I'm calling it Gauge. And unlike, say, you know, Key or whatever, where it regenerates after a long rest, or I think Key also regenerates after a short rest. But unlike Key or Sorcerer Points or, you know, whatever other resources that exist in the base game of D&D 5e, Gauge restores in battle, which I think is pretty cool, actually, because, and I based it off of how you get Gauge back in Gravity Rush. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool where, like, if you don't use your powers for long enough, then you get your Gauge back. And I guess theoretically that's how the other resources also work, but like the timer is a lot shorter. There aren't a ton of things you can do with the gauge in my custom class, Shifter, I'm calling it. Which, you know, again, if you watch the series, then you know where I got the name from. Frick. There aren't a lot of things you can use gauge for as a shifter, but the thing you can use it for, and the thing you'll most often be using it for, is just flying, basically. Like, you get temporary flight for 1 round per gauge you use, and when you run out of gauge, you fall and land on the ground, and then you spend a round on the ground and you get the gauge back. And I feel like that's a pretty cool thing, like, because you don't want to give people just free flight for nothing, right? Because that just kind of trivializes any ground-based gameplay, and also you just end up having to constantly be doing freaking trigonometry to figure out where exactly everyone is on the map. Oh, okay, should have waited, or done that better in some way. Yeah, constant flight would be a nightmare, but I think temporary flight has a chance of actually being balanced and interesting to work around, And I feel like there are some counters to the shifter class, which helps in balancing. But I also feel like the shifter class might be a little. There are ways it has the potential to also be too strong, because it does close range decently well, it does long range decently well, and in combat wise, I'm talking. And also, it's kind of hard to hit. Granted, a shifter doesn't have a lot of hit points, so if you do hit them, they're gonna go down pretty quick. But I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I need it to actually be played to know whether it's balanced or not. And speaking of balanced, this game's pretty balanced, more or less. 1 or 2 hard levels here or there. And we're gonna go ahead and experience how balanced it is next time. Whoops, that was early. But as for this episode, that's a wrap. All right, Crash, your turn.